back in the flesh, late at night, in my kitchen. My glasses are mostly fixed now, I think. I did some adjustments. Oof, actually. It still looks pretty bad. Hold on, I think I'm gonna do this until people join. Yeah, never mind. My glasses are still pretty bad. But they didn't seem too bad when I had them on my face. But when I do this, it certainly looks dubious still. Not sure what I can do about that. I have to do it. I have to just wait until people join and look like this. Yeah, that's really uneven. Although, maybe, oh God, I've done it again. It's even worse. I ordered some new glasses, but it would be nice to fix these since I already have them. I think any minute now, there might be some traction in here. It tends to be in my experience. It tends to be that it takes a couple minutes for YouTube to start pushing out a video, pushing out a live stream. So if my calculations are correct, within a minute or so, YouTube will push out this live stream. It has begun. People are arriving. Welcome. Welcome. How are we doing today? Is there anyone out there? Am I alone in the universe? Maybe. Maybe not. Who really knows? Alright, I don't think I can fix these glasses. I've tried a lot of different things, but they just keep giving me problems, man. Alexis Dickinson says, hi. What's up, Alexis Dickinson? Sirius Miso says, sub, dude. Holy shit, that's a sick name, man. Where are you from, man? Sirius Miso? Myco? Welcome, welcome. How are we doing today? Those are some cool glasses I saw. I agree, but I don't know, man. I've been trying to fix them all day, but I keep making it worse and worse. But I'm glad you think they're cool. Two Canoe says, hello from somewhere out in the universe. I wonder where. Are we from the same planet, Two Canoe? Marlon Tominus says, hey. Blue says, great hair. Thank you, man. I like it too. Why are you live? Says Marcio Sosa. Why are you live? I agree with Blue. Thank you. I appreciate that. Why am I live? I'm live because I can be. I'm live to see what happens. Can you tell me my last name? Ahmed Fatemi. 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 Salam. Assalamu alaikum. Where are you guys from? I'll go first. I'm from I'm from Los Angeles, California, USA. Oh my gosh. What has been happening to you? What has been happening to me? That's a good question, man. Let me think about it. What has been happening to me? Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. How about you, man? Two Canoe says dog. Indeed. This is my family dog. Half. He's confused. Say hi. His name is Shadow. He's a half wiener dog, half Chihuahua. Guanajuato, Mexico, aquí. No way. That's really cool, dude. I think you're my first Mexican viewer, surprisingly enough. My parents are Mexican. I'm going to Mexico soon to live in Mexico. Marlon says, I do VR videos. That sounds pretty cool. What kind of videos? Marcio says, I've been trying to pay my bills. It'd be like that, bro. Hi, Shadow, says Two Canoe. Canoe? Or Shadow, I mean. Shadow, he says hi. Look, right there on the screen. You see him? Two Canoe says hi. I think he spotted you. I think he got scared though. I have more bills than money. It'd be like that, man. That's why I'm dipping out of this country. For now. I'm heading to Mexico where I can pay rent for $100 a month instead of probably like 1,000 if I tried to get an apartment out here. Alexis Dickinson says, aw, so cute. I agree. He's cute, but he's kind of a menace. He's really, he's a real handful. Ellie, or Eli, says hello. Hello, man. Eli. Ellie? I don't know which one, but welcome. Hello. Haha, says Eli. Haha. Where's everyone else from? Blue is from Guanajuato, which is really cool. Surprisingly, I've gotten people from many different countries, but still, you're, I think, the first one from Mexico. Small dog fears my massive aura. True, definitely possible. Do you believe in dog? Yeah, I guess I do. I have a Yorkie named Maximus. I call him a rascal. Yeah, I call my dog a menace. But maybe I shouldn't. I feel like if I think of him as a menace, I'm gonna only focus on the things he does that's menacing, but he's really cute sometimes too. Blue says, pues México es buena opción para ahí, pero hay que saber que hay muchos cuidados bien caros. Ciudades bien caros. Ciudades? Cities? There's a lot of expensive cities. I'm planning on going to my dad's hometown, so it's just like a pueblo, so it'll be super cheap, and then I can just exist for cheap, live very frugally. I am from Brazil. Brazil is nuts. Why do you say that? What is nuts about Brazil? I think I might know what you mean, but I'm curious what you're talking about. Ciudades, I see. Yeah. Everywhere here is dangerous. Really? Everywhere. I know Brazil has a lot of there's a lot of YouTube videos of robbings and robberies gone wrong in Brazil. Holy shit, that's a long name. The Godskin Apostle Hail the Gloam-Eyed Queen. I didn't know you could have a name that long, man. That's incredible. ¿Cómo estás? Pues bien. Please say the N-word. Nice. Nice. There you go, man. Estoy bien, Godskin. ¿Cómo estás tú? ¿De dónde eres? I'm a sub now. I'm gonna go to bed. Go. Take care, Eli. Farewell. Thank you for the sub. Nirvana, says Marzio. Alexis says, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and look for some other lives. Ooh, I hope you and everyone here has a great weekend. Bye. Take care, Alexis. Keep on the search for more lives. I assume you mean live streams, actually, now that I think about it. Jay says, hi, hope you're having a good day. Keep up the good work. Stay positive. Love you, bro. Thank you, man. That's the type of energy I like to see, instead of people hating on me for no reason. I mean, that's pretty rare too, but this is cool. I like that. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate it. The Godskin says night. Night indeed. Take care, man. If you're saying good night, take care. Good night as well. Bay, or bye, says Eli. Martillo says, I'm gonna stay. Your live is pretty good. Oh. Thank you, man. Be careful with what you say. You might make me blush, bro. I have been doing a lot of lives. I normally do this during the day, but because my glasses are really fricked up, man, really bent, I've been having a lot of like eye strain. So if I could, I would be live many more hours a day, but I have physical limitations now. Blue says, you seem like a kind guy. Not sure how I got here, but love the voice. Thank you, Blue. I assume you seem to be pretty fluent, Blue. You speak English and Spanish? That's not a joke. There's a meme right now about saying English or Spanish, but I'm serious. Where did you say you're from? Guanajuato? Let me look it back up. Let me scroll up. Guanajuato, Mexico. Okay. How do you like Guanajuato, Mexico? Martillo says, one day I will do a live and I will blow everyone's minds. One day, make it right now, man. Don't wait till later, do it right now. Leave right now, go live, and blow everyone's minds. Easy G says English or Spanish. No, for real. Both of them, bro. Both of these, bro. English and Spanish. Eli says, how do you go live? If you're on your phone, you just... Actually, I think you need like 50 subscribers first. I don't know if you have subs or if you post content. But I think if you have 50, you can go live. And it's just on your mobile phone. There's a tab, live tab. Spanish or English? Both of them. Still both of them, bro. Nice, he says. Jay says, I'm going around spreading positive to small streamers, so I'm gonna go spread positivity. Love you, bro. I sub. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. That's respect, man. That's a respectful thing to be doing, man. I like that. Marzio says, first I need to adopt a human shape. Holy shit, what are you, bro? Where are you from, dude? Are you from another planet? Oh, you're the one that asked me, why am I alive and what has been happening to you? Are you AI, bro? Is Marzio Sosa an AI bot? Eli says, I have 95 subs. Is that like Subway sandwiches? Or is that like subscribers? I think I'd rather have 95 Subway sandwiches than subscribers. Right? That's a good trade-off, no? I feel like that's worth it. Marzio says, I am a shapeless energy. Holy shit. That sounds intense, man. Blue says, I speak a few languages, but English, Spanish, and ASL are my primary. Oh, that's really cool, dude. What other languages? I'm gonna guess maybe an indigenous language. And possibly an Asian language. ASL. That's cool, dude. American Sign Language, yeah? I speak a few languages as well. English, Spanish, and one Asian language, if anyone wants to take a guess. How multilingual are we in the chat? Shoot your language proficiency in the chat right quick. Where do you see yourself 10 years ago? Holy shit. Marzio is asking the real questions here, man. Where do I see myself 10 years ago? 10 years ago, that was 2014. I see myself in the other room after school playing Call of Duty Black Ops with the boys. Phone in one hand, controller in the other. Actually, I guess phone was on speaker mode. Yeah. Blue says French and LSM. LSM. What is that? I know what French is. LSM. Is that another sign language? Or is that a Mexican thing? Lenguaje señal mexicano? Maybe? I have no clue. How about you, Marzio? Where do you see yourself 10 years ago? What's the origin story of Marzio Souza, the shapeless energy? Lengua de signos mexicanos. Oh shit. Sí, heart. Corazón. Very cool, dude. Marzio says, I am an English teacher. I have been one for too long. Running out of patience. What do you suggest? That's funny. I don't know if you're kidding. I can't tell what's serious or not, Marzio, but I was an English teacher in China for a year. It's stressful, man. It's a hard job. Teaching sucks. I think it's sucking more and more over time. But if you're serious here and you're running out of patience, what do I suggest? I suggest if you have the money, quit your job, take time to yourself, go camping for a week or two, and you'll get enlightened, man. You'll figure out what you really want, and you'll pursue something that you love. That's what I suggest. What do you think of that? All right, let's bring him back. So you speak Mandarin. I do. I speak English, Spanish, and Mandarin in that order of proficiency. That's cool though, dude. I feel like I haven't met people that can do sign language. I know there's one person from my high school that learns sign language, I think. You should do voiceover work. I don't know, I might be misleading you. I'm speaking quietly because everyone's asleep. I can't afford to quit, gotta find a way. Maybe, man. I think, gotta find a way to quit, is what I'm gonna say. I mean, I don't know your situation, but I believe all we need is in ourselves. If you trust yourself, if you do the I don't know. You know, there's a quote by David Goggins. He says, the most important conversations you'll ever have are with yourself. And I agree. I think if you take the time to have those important conversations with yourself, you can do anything, man. You'll find a direction to head in, at least. It's super relaxing in your voice. Thank you, dude. I remember in middle school, there were some classmates, like I thought I had like a high-pitched voice because people would like bully me in elementary or like tease me for having like a weird voice. And then in middle school, I thought I had a weird voice. So I remember I was sitting at a table with these girls for one of my classes, and I thought I didn't have a deep voice. So I was like, they asked me something, and I was like, yeah, I don't have a deep voice. And then they mocked me. They were like, yeah, I don't have a deep voice. um, and that was the day I realized maybe my voice is a little more normal than I think. But it's a weird thing, no? Like voice, because um, like the way we hear it in our own head is very different from how other people hear it. You know? Marcio says, thanks for hearing. Do you believe we can change our reality with the power of our minds? Do you believe we can change our reality with the power of our minds? I think our perception is our reality. I believe our perception is our reality. And the way we perceive things becomes how we see the world. And so I think a lot of changing our reality is changing the things that we believe. I feel that we are often conditioned to believe and think and feel certain things, but it's not things that we've chosen for ourselves. It's things that we are exposed to externally. Society, parents, friends, co-workers, the government, social media, me. So I feel like ultimately the most important thing is to spend time with yourself. Figure out what you believe, what you think, what you want. Because if you're constantly stimulated, constantly distracted, constantly doing things, you'll never have the time to have those inner dialogues and to understand yourself. It's a matter of asking ourselves questions and figuring out who are we and who do we want to be. That's my take. Where do you teach English, Marzio? Mars? I'm kidding. I don't know where you're from, did you say? You said Nirvana. Oh, you're from Brazil. Okay, I remember now. I see. Oh, I see. Inner dialogues, interesting, ... I teach online. Oh, this is interesting then. You see, this is the thing, I'm curious what you think. Do you know what you want? What do you want? If you weren't teaching, what would you want? I forget if I read your messages already. Inner dialogues, interesting. I teach online. That's interesting, yeah. Yeah, English teaching is, I don't know. There's a lot of different ways to do it. I did it in person in China, but a lot of it, there's a lot of places that demand English teachers, but in China, for example, they mostly want people from native English-speaking countries, England, USA, Australia, New Zealand, Canada. So it's a little tougher for someone like you if you're born in Brazil, and it could be that your English is amazing, just probably better, maybe even better than a native speaker, but there's kind of discrimination and shit when it comes to teaching English abroad. In my opinion, in my experience. I'll give you some time to type. I'm gonna go grab water. BRB. Be right back. Marzio says, what did you used to do with the students who didn't dedicate themselves? They frustrate me. That's an interesting question. it sounds like, or can I ask why they frustrate you? When I taught, I don't know, I think it really depends on where you teach and like the culture. Like in China, I mean, like as an English teacher, we just taught one lesson a week per class. Like we would see our students, like they would only see me once a week for each class of students. And so it was kind of like, I don't know, a little more casual. Like it was, the whole point of the class was just to help them improve their oral English. There wasn't like tests or like quizzes or anything like that increased pressure on them. And so it really depends. I mean, ultimately, I think it's understandable to feel frustrated. Let me see what you said. Because they could be learning more and faster if they use their free time to study the lessons. Because they could be learning more and faster if they use their free time to study the lessons. It sounds like you're saying you want your kids to learn faster and study in their free time. And when they don't do that, you feel frustrated. Is that correct? Maybe you're typing more. I don't know. I can never tell. I mean, I'll say this. I think it really depends. I think teachers have very varied ways of going about discipline and like teaching their students and stuff. Yeah, because I have to teach them all over again. I see. Yeah, I think your situation's a little different than mine, where their performance affects your work. Like you have to work more if they don't perform well. When I was a teacher, like it didn't matter what they did. It's actually kind of silly because we did grading, but like it was a joke. Like like parents complain about their kids getting a bad grade, so it's just a lot of like politics and bureaucracy, and the grades don't really matter. So it was really casual for us. We were just kind of in there once a week. The whole point was just to give them English listening practice and oral speaking practice. So it was very different. If I was like, if I was like a teacher in a school, like a public school, full time, it would have been way more stressful. It's tough, man. English or teaching in general is tough, and I feel like especially these days because kids, like the school system. I don't know about Brazil, but here in the U.S., I feel like it's getting worse and worse. The kids are losing their attention span. They're being more disrespectful, less interested in learning. The teachers have less and less power. They can't control the kids. They can't discipline them because if they do, the parents get mad. The parents call the school, complain to the school. The school isn't taking the teacher's side. The school's afraid of the parents. So it's just like this cycle where like no one's in control, and everyone's. It's just a mess, I don't know what the situation is like in Brazil, but I understand being frustrated if the student's performances has repercussions for you, I feel like, I don't know, it's tough. Teaching's tough, especially if you have a huge class because like, you want them to do well, but you can't make someone want to do something, Marcio says, I am weird. What does that mean? How so? Weird how? Why do you say? What is weird about you? read the previous message. Oh, maybe it could be that YouTube is deleting some of the messages. I have this problem where sometimes people's messages don't show up. Okay, here it is. I see it now. Sometimes I try not giving a fuck, but I can't. I see, yeah. I think because you used the word fuck, I think YouTube didn't show it, but I switched the settings, so now I can see everything. Yeah, I don't think it's about trying not to give a fuck. I think it might be more so, thinking like, what are you responsible for, right? And like having clear understanding of like, what can you do and like what is out of your control. Because if a student doesn't want to learn, there's not much you can do to make them interested to learn. I think the only thing you can do is ask them questions. Try to help them understand themselves and understand the importance of learning. But maybe it's not important for them. In which case, what can you do? If they don't think it's important and they don't care about the class, what can you do? Yeah, I don't know. Is it like, it sounds like you said you have to teach them over again. What happens if they just keep failing? Like, does it affect your employment? Like, can you get fired or do you lose more money or stuff like that? You're right. Thanks, bud. You're welcome, man. I try my best. What are the effects of students performing really poorly? How does it affect you? Apart from like feeling frustrated. No, I just get impatient and angry. I understand it. It's hard, man. Teaching sucks sometimes. In China, like, a lot of the teachers are really burnt out, really stressed. And in part because, like, there's huge classrooms, like 40, 50 kids. I don't know how big is a class in your school? How many students? But in China, like, there were like 40, 50 people in one class. It's a mess, man. It's a hellhole. Luckily, I had smaller classes, but I had coworkers who had huge, huge classes, and like, they would be really disrespectful. Like, some of them would like cuss at the teacher, say bad words, just not give a fuck, man. And I think sometimes we feel really frustrated and we want to like control them, but I think the more pressure you put on someone, unless they want to change, if the more pressure you put on them, the less they're gonna want to change. For example, like, if you put your arm in front of you, well, it works better with someone else, but I'll pretend I'm someone else. If I have like my hand here, and then I grab this hand, and I start pressing on it, the automatic reaction is to push back. And I think it's true for most everything. Like, if you have kids who don't want to learn, yelling at them, getting angry at them, getting frustrated, like, they're gonna probably not want to learn even more. And so I feel like the approach a lot of teachers had to take was like, focus on the kids that do want to learn. If the kids don't want to learn, like, there's not a whole lot you can do. Try and like minimize their distraction to the kids that do want to learn. Some teachers would like send them out to walk or tell them to like just put their head down or take a nap, be on their phone, whatever, But I guess maybe that's the way. Focus on the kids that do want to learn. And I think when you put the least pressure on the kids that don't want to learn, they might realize like, okay, maybe it's not such a bad idea to try and learn. If they see all the other kids really enjoying it, having a good time, they might think twice, But otherwise, I don't know, man. Teaching sucks. Teaching's hard. Teaching's hard. Who's out there lurking? I know there's someone out there. Who goes there? Show yourself. Or don't. I can't control you. Do whatever you want to do. Alright, they left. Oh, it's Blue. How old are you? Take a guess, Blue. How old do you think I am? Marzio says, my situation is worse than you think. My students are adults. They study individually and they still don't learn much. And my materials are good and my classes are pretty good. Yeah, I could imagine that. I feel like some of it might just be out of your control because with like YouTube and TikTok, like YouTube Shorts, TikTok, like we're very hyper stimulated these days and people's attention spans are dropping really quick to the point where like even if you have something that's really engaging and you're like a really great teacher, like, you know, you can't beat like TikTok. TikTok's going to be more interesting than learning English any day of the week, you know? And so a lot of it might just be out of your control, you know? Maybe it would help to try to understand your students, like why are they in your class? Why do they want to learn? What do they want to learn English for? I think if maybe the material is something that's more like personally applicable for them, they might be more engaged, more captivated. For example, if they want to like, I don't know, live abroad, then maybe doing a lesson on like living abroad or some shit, you know? Blue says 25 question mark. Holy shit. How did you know? I am 25, yeah. Well done. I can't really see the profile pictures. If I could, I would guess. Actually, I can kind of see a little. Barely though. I must strain my eyes trying to look at your profile picture. I would give you a guess, but I have no clue. I'll say 30 years old though. And Marzio is just the black silhouette of a man. Incredible. Marzio says, sorry for bothering you with so much stuff. Sorry. Why do you say that? How do you know you're bothering me? I mean, it could just be your, I don't know. People say things for different reasons, but for myself and for a lot of other people, I realize a lot of times we feel bad even though we've done nothing wrong. And we say sorry even though we've done nothing wrong. So, you know, I don't think you've done anything wrong, man. There's nothing to be sorry for. Yeah, no bother either, man. I love talking to people about random shit, especially shit that's like honest and deep and vulnerable, you know? If I can help someone, that's pretty sick for me, man. I like that. Blue says, I'm 36, but good guess. It's a tiny pic. Yeah, I can't see shit, Blue. I can't see shit. 36, though, wow. You're 11 years older than me, man. I'm like your little cousin or something. Marzio says, but you gave me very good advice. You're a wise young dude. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I try my best. Yeah. I try my best. I think a lot of it stems from spending a lot of time with myself. I think a lot of things that seem like really negative, or the things that are the most painful or the worst experiences, that's like the opportunities for the most growth, man. More like your handsome older cousin. Me or you? I'm assuming you're talking about yourself. Yeah. Blue, I assume you're Mexican. Or are you just living in Guanajuato? Are you from Guanajuato? What is It's your turn, man. Tell me your life story. What has led you to this moment right now, right here? That goes for anyone in the chat. I sleep now, but maybe see you again. If you make it to Guanajuato, look me up. Good luck, brother. I'll look you up before I go to Guanajuato, but I might someday. I'm gonna be in Jalisco in a few weeks. So, Marcio says, I have a big problem with people. I love them, but yet they irritate me. That is an interesting thing. I'd love to talk more about that. Blue says, oof, too long to tell. Maybe so. Next time. Marcio, good night. Take care, Blue. Good night. Buenas noches. Hope to see you around. Thanks for hanging out. Marcio said, I have a big problem with people. I love them, but yet they irritate me. I can relate to that. Can I ask why? What's your understanding of that, Marcio? Why do you think that is? I've been in a similar place in my life. But I'm curious what you think for yourself. I'm gonna blow my nose, excuse me, ahead of time. For example, I am married and I love my wife deeply, but I can lose patience with her in a matter of seconds. I see. I mean, I think, we've only known each other for 20, 30 minutes at most. We hardly know each other. I don't know you. I don't know your relationship with your wife. What I will say, just from my experience, in terms of people being irritated by people, I find that in my life, when I was very unhappy, the things I hated or didn't like about myself were the things that I didn't like about other people. And I think, in general, with observing other people, that tends to be true, tends to be the case. So maybe think to yourself, like, why does this irritate me? Why do these things annoy me? What might they have to do with myself, maybe? As for marriage and love, I have no clue what your relationship is like, but I think a lot of times, we might have unprocessed like emotions or negative experiences and stuff, and we bottle up like resentment, or like we don't deal with things, we don't tackle with things, we kind of just shove it under the rug. We're like, it doesn't matter, it's a small thing, it's whatever. And I think those things tend to resurface. They don't go away unless you like process it. They don't actually go away, and that's why seemingly little things can explode, can be explosive. They trigger you. It could be resentment against your wife. It could be trauma or like shit that's happened to you in the past, negative experiences that you haven't like tackled. For example, like, let's see. I'm trying to think of an example. There's an example in a book I read where they're talking about like they would get really mad at their partner for not washing the dishes, And it seems like a tiny thing, like it's just dishes, but they would get really mad. They'd like stomp their feet, they'd like bang the table and shit. But it's not about the dishes. That's just like the surface level thing. But in reality, it's because like in her childhood early on, she believed that like her experiences were that she wasn't considered, like people didn't care about her. And so when her like wife doesn't or her partner like doesn't do the dishes, it kind of triggers and instills this belief she already has about herself, that she's not considered, people don't care about her. Her partner doesn't care to wash the dishes because her partner doesn't care about her. She's not considered. And so I think a lot of times all the answers you need are in yourself, man. Anything that like makes you really mad or really irritated, really annoyed, in my experience, there's always some reason for that. And if you sort of build awareness and explore your own feelings, your own thoughts, you can figure it out. You can find it out. And for me, that was a lot of like the past like month and a half, maybe a little further back, but I would spend a lot of time just sitting on a rock or walking around, and just observing my mind, observing my thoughts. I started out by just voicing my thoughts on camera, recording it, just to get in the habit of like building awareness of what I'm thinking. So that might help if you want to give that a try, if that sounds interesting. Just like record yourself, say anything that comes to mind for like as long as you want to, as long as you can. And over time, if you do that like every day, you're gonna get really good at like being aware of what you think. And then once you're aware of what you think, you can ask yourself why you think that. And then as you dig deeper, you're gonna feel more emotions, and you'll kind of be able to piece things together and figure out, it's kind of like thoughts, feelings, beliefs, identity, habits, personality, character, all that thing, It all starts with our thoughts, really. If you start to dig into your thoughts, then you can dig into your feelings. If you dig into your feelings, you'll dig into your actions, your habits. If you dig into your habits, you'll dig into your identity, right? Like if I say, I'm so dumb, like that's just a thought. But if I feel like I'm so dumb, then it's like, okay, why do I feel that way? Where does that feeling come from? Then maybe I think of a memory in middle school when like I got bullied for saying an answer wrong, and my teacher yelled at me, and I hated English from there, and then I stopped learning English. And then from there on out, I believed I was dumb. I'm so dumb. And that stuck with me ever since. That's part of my identity. I am dumb. I am a dumb person. And if I'm a dumb person, then the actions I take are gonna align with that belief. I'm gonna act in a way where I confirm to myself what I already know, which is that I'm dumb. And so I think that can go for just about anything, really. If you think you're dumb, if you think you're fat, if you think you're a loser, if you think you're worthless, if you think you don't deserve to live, if you think you don't deserve love, it can be anything, man. It goes deep. The crater runs deep. The hole runs deep. And it's up to us to be honest with ourselves and to have those conversations with ourselves if we want to really understand ourselves and dig all those things out. But it sucks because a lot of it is not things you want to be thinking about. That's why it's become internalized and automatic. It's typically the things that control us are typically the really negative, really painful, really hurtful emotions and experiences in our life. Oh my gosh, I've been talking for a while. Is anyone even listening? I have no clue. I might have just been talking to myself for the past 5 minutes. But I see 2 people in the chat, so hopefully someone was there on the other end, and maybe you guys are just too engaged to say anything. Martio says, man. Woman. You say man, I say woman. Oh, my back. I am impressed with your wisdom. Thank you. I appreciate that. I guess you could say I learned the hard way. I think a lot of times we tend to think that the way to learn things is through experience, but I think one of the best ways to learn things is through observing, through trying to understand. How are you so young and so smart? Thank you. That's a good question. First, it would require that I believe that I'm smart, which I guess, I don't know. That's one of those things where it's like, I don't know. You want to be humble. I don't want to compare. I don't want to like compare myself to other people. You know? I am what I am. You're totally right. I had hard times when I was a kid. Ib did. I did. I think a lot of people have. And I think a lot of times we don't think it affects us, but it can control our whole life, man. I didn't feel loved and taken care of enough. I think that's very common in Latino culture. Like I think, you know, I guess it's weird. Like my parents are Mexican, but I'm born in the U.S. And I think, you know, my parents' generation probably similar. Their parents, my grandparents were very like distant, very cold, you know. And I think part of that comes with like standard of living, you know. It's no longer about surviving. Like I'm the generation that can think about what do I want to do? I want fulfillment, I want purpose. Whereas like my parents' generation was just like survive, like get a better living a comfortable living situation. And so yeah, I mean, I think a lot of Latin America, you know, doesn't have that luxury. A lot of the developing world doesn't have that luxury to be thinking about fulfillment, purpose, dreams, you know. A lot of it is just get by, survive, get through life, and hope that the next generation can do better. So, yeah. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get even more water. Sometimes I feel bad for thinking this because I know my parents loved me, but they didn't show it enough. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. The cool thing is there's a lot of really great resources on YouTube if you want to learn more about like mental health and like digging into your past and understanding yourself and stuff. Let me drop you a couple of names if you want to check them out. One of them is Dr. K, healthygamer.gg. The other one is he talks more about like trauma. and like childhood, like trauma and like ADHD and shit, and like the needs of like a child. His name's Gabor Mate. I put it in the poll just so I can write it down because I can't type. But you know, I believe our thoughts are just thoughts. We think what we think. You know, we can't control our thoughts for the most part. Our feelings, I think, is a little different. I think our feelings is the same though. You know, like or similar. Like we can't really control how we feel. I think our feelings are always valid, and I think we always feel things for a reason. And I mean, there's a difference between feeling something and deciding how to respond to a feeling. And so, what I've been practicing lately is always accepting my feelings, even if it feels wrong or bad. You feel that way for a reason, you know? Then it's up to you what you want to do with it. You know, you have this feeling that your parents didn't love you, they didn't show enough love to you. But then it's up to you how you want to respond to that feeling. I don't know if your parents are alive and if you can still talk to them about it, but there's a lot of ways you can respond to a feeling like that. And I think the tricky thing is if we feel ashamed or guilty for what we feel, it kind of makes it even worse because now we're dealing with the guilt and the shame of having a certain feeling plus having that feeling. And then if we're guilty and ashamed for having a feeling, the next time we have that feeling, we're going to feel even worse because we feel shamed and guilty. So I would say, I think it's important to just acknowledge all your feelings, accept all your feelings, acknowledge them, which requires being aware of your feelings, which is the hard part. And that's going to take spending time by yourself and observing your thoughts, observing your feelings. But I think it's important. I think my life is way better ever since I started being way more mindful, observing my mind, observing my feelings, accepting my feelings, processing my feelings. I wouldn't be here before you if I hadn't done all that over the last couple months. So, yeah. I'm not going to say, you know, a lot of people, from the sentence you said there, a lot of people might be like, oh no, don't feel bad. You feel how you feel, man. No one can tell you how to feel. Like, you feel how you feel. I think the better response, what I would respond is, it's okay to feel bad. You feel how you feel. It's up to you how you want to respond to that feeling. Just because I feel something doesn't mean I believe it or that I want to act on it, you know? I could feel hatred towards my girlfriend if she like if she like cursed at me or disrespected me. I could feel hatred. But just because I feel hatred doesn't mean I need to act on that hatred or believe that I hate her, right? Feelings are just feelings. Think of it like a compass for where you want to go from there, what you want to do. But yeah, we got really deep out here, huh? These are the 1 a.m. chats. What time is it in Brazil right now? It's like 12:10 right now, a.m. in California. Yeah. I'll give you some time to type. I'm sure you're typing things. And just a heads up, I think I'm gonna wrap up in a few minutes. My head hurts. I need to rest my eyes. think I've drank too much water. I'm probably gonna pee overnight. I feel that my parents could have stood up for me more often when I had problems with the world, and they could have taught me more things. But sometimes instead they made fun of me, and now I am this. They could have. That's true. Let's assume they could have, right? Now the question is, what are you gonna do, right? Like, how do you want to decide? A big reactive adult that fights whoever comes his way. I see. I think the first step is accepting yourself, accepting who you are now, accepting what you are now, and then also accepting what has led up to now. You know, what the fuck? Oh, my neighbor's making weird noises. One of the most helpful things, in my opinion, is the belief of, like, trying to focus on what you can control and accepting what you cannot. And there's a fuck ton of things we cannot control. Almost everything we can't control. You can't control what your parents did, how they raised you. It's all in the past. Everything in the past is done. It is what it is, right? It's not going to help to dwell on it. I think that's different from accepting it. I think accepting it might mean processing a lot of emotions, maybe grief, maybe sadness, maybe anger, maybe hatred. But I think one of the most important things we can do is focus on what we can control, accept what we can't control, and try to figure out the difference between the two. Most of the times, things are out of our control. You can't control who you are now, or like what's led up to now, but you can absolutely control where you go from here. It's gonna be hard as fuck, depending on how big of a change you're going for. But, my channel name is A Stepping Stone for a reason. No matter how big the goal, man, every step is just one step at a time, one moment, one decision. Every decision matters, man. Every moment matters. I think you've made a lot of great moments and decisions tonight in being open and vulnerable about this type of shit, so I appreciate that. I think your future you will thank you for that. And so I think a few of the things that have helped me the most is, like, thinking about what will future me thank me for. Whenever you make a decision, what will future you thank you for? Because, like, let's say I have a box of cookies and right now I want to eat them. It would be sick. I'd love it. It'd be very pleasurable. But when I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to be like, fuck, why did I eat that box of cookies? So think about, what are the repercussions of my actions today? And a lot of that just comes with observing your actions. Just think about, why are you doing things every day? Everything you do, everything you think, everything you feel. Why are you doing it? Where does that come from? Where did it come from? Why did you start doing it? And as you peel back the layers, as you just observe your thoughts, observe your feelings, observe your actions, it's going to become a more and more clear picture of who you are today and why you are who you are today. And once you figure that out, you can start accepting everything that's led up to now and start reconditioning your mind into who you want to be. If you're not aware of your thoughts, your mind is probably controlling you. You're not controlling your mind. All it takes is awareness. And to build awareness, it's just a matter of not doing anything, not distracting yourself, spending time with yourself. If you close your eyes for 10 seconds, you build awareness. First, you think about physical sensations. I'll do it right now. 30 seconds. I close my eyes. I feel my heartbeat. I feel some nervousness. I feel some sense of humor, some funniness, because it probably looks really weird. I notice the clock ticking above me. I notice my heartbeat, my breath, a contentedness. You know, basically what happens if you close your eyes, if you just think or just don't do anything, you're gonna go from thinking and being aware of like external things. Like first I'm like thinking like, I don't know, maybe I'm sleepy or maybe the clock. I hear things around me, I hear the heartbeat. But as time goes, you build more awareness of things that are more internal. First it's external things, maybe you hear birds chirping, clock ticking, people talking, but as you just sit with yourself, you're gonna start hearing thoughts, thinking thoughts, you're gonna start feeling feelings, and then it gets deeper and deeper, it gets more abstract. Maybe you think like, oh, I feel a sense of discontentedness. You know? The more you sit with yourself, undistracted, the more you become aware. And it takes awareness to change. You can't change until you're aware that you want to change. And I lost my train of thought. Yeah, it's not a matter of like should or like, you know, forcing your way to change. Ideally, you want to get to a point where it's not about sacrifice or forcing yourself or because you feel that you should do something, it's because you want to. It's no longer like, oh, I should observe my thoughts. It's, wow, I want to observe my thoughts. Because future you will thank you for it. You know? Shit like that. I rambled for a while. I'll give you guys time to respond or say anything. There's someone else in here. No clue who it is, but welcome. Welcome, welcome. It's interesting because you said yourself, you're a big reactive adult that fights whoever comes his way. That's good awareness. You're aware of part of who you are now, who you believe you are now, right? What are you, a psychologist? The reincarnation of a classic time poet? What? I don't know. I guess we'll see. Right now, I'm just a random human. I like to say I'm a random human being, man. I'm just a random guy on the internet. That's all I am. I'm just a random guy on the internet. Same as you. Same as anyone in here. But no, I'm not a psychologist. I don't think I'm a reincarnation. I don't think I'm a poet. Yeah. Just a random human being, man. Random human being. A fellow human being. I like that a little better. But I've. Do you believe in the spiritual world? Not really. I'm not religious. I don't know. Topic for another day. I do have to get going, so I'm gonna wrap up here pretty soon. Is there anything else you wanted to respond or ask or say about what we were talking about? I want to wrap up that conversation at least, if there's more. Or or at least I want to hear like your feedback, or not feedback, but like your thoughts, your experience of it. I just want to thank you. You're very cool. You're welcome, man. No need to thank me. Actually, nah, it's okay. You can thank me. I'll accept it. Thank you. Great chatting to you. I agree, man. I like talking to random people on the internet. It's all I do these days, actually. But yeah, man. Appreciate you being vulnerable and honest. I think future you will thank you for that. But we'll see. Curious to see where things go from here. I'd like to think your life changed tonight. But we'll see, man. One moment, one choice. It's all on you, man. What's it gonna be? What do you want? And why do you want it? Alright. Enough poetry and wisdom for tonight. It's time I go to bed and get some sleep. I'm just a human being, man. I need to sleep too. Yeah, I see myself better tomorrow. Let's go, man. Looking forward to hearing what has changed, or what changes. I hope to see you around. I'll be around, man. You help me feel this way. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad to hear that. Hopefully it's just the beginning, the start of something new. Alright, man. Have a good night in Brazil. Brazil. I'ma hit the hay. Hit the hay. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna go sleep. But hope to see you around, man. Great chatting. Any last words? See ya. Good last words, man. I'll see you too. Peace. Take care. See you around.